What's going on, everybody? We're back with another video, and today, Glock versus Smith & Wesson. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is I know that Gaston Glock has recently passed away, and this is in no way a video that bashes on Glock. It is just a video to pros and cons. And so I am a Smith & Wesson fan. If you've been following this channel, you know that I'm a Smith & Wesson fan. And I wanted to put this video out for a while, but the day I was gonna release it is the day that Mr. Glock passed. And I said, let me just wait a little bit and then I'll put it out. But this is in no way bashing Glock. As you can see, I own both. These are both my guns. I have Glocks, I have M&Ps. I just prefer M&Ps. This is gonna be a two-part video. The first part is gonna be a tabletop, and the second part is gonna be at the range, just comparison. We're gonna do accuracy and time standards and just a little comparison thrown in. So without further ado, let's get started. I have a Gen 3 Glock 19, and then I have an M&P 2.0 compact. So these are the same size, same capacity, everything's the same. The only difference is the optic I'm running on top of it. I've got a Trijicon RMR on this one, and this one has a Hollow Sun, the first generation. It's a 407C, so it just has the 2 MOA dot. Now, I like M&P for a few different reasons, and I'm gonna start with the pros of the M&P, and that would be the optic mounting system is probably one of my favorites. Now, on the M&P, you can mount the mounting screws go all the way or can go all the way through the slide. Now, the extractor, you can see that it stops here. The screws are about right here where this first serration is, and the pin for this is about right here. So your extractor does not interfere with your right side rear mounting screw. Now with a Glock, the extractor runs down the entire side of the slide, and with that, your right side mounting screw has to be shorter because you cannot interfere with the spring that is part of the extractor. So that was my number one thing. The second thing is they both have polymer frames, but the Smith & Wesson has a metal insert in the frame to keep it more rigid. Now, if you don't really shoot a lot, it really doesn't make a huge difference. But for me, I just like that. And so, of course, you know, I'm gonna gravitate towards what I like. So after that, my next one is metal magazines. Smith & Wesson comes with metal magazines. And Glocks, they have a small metal insert, kind of like the frame on an M&P does, but a majority of it is polymer. If you buy, number your magazines, by the way. If you buy like a Magpul or something, they are completely polymer, which is not like a huge deal, but I would rather for a handgun run metal mags than polymer mags, because I have found in some of the testing that I've personally done is that whenever I'm dropping my mags, doing reload scenarios or drills, whatever you want to call it, I like to call it exercises, I find that once dirt, debris, sand, whatever it is that you have at your range gets in there, these will not drop freely, the polymer mags, and I have never had that problem with a metal mag. It has always fallen out, no problem. So we have the optic mounting system, I believe is better. No matter what optics ready pistol you have, maybe FN is a little bit different from when I had that. It's a two-piece mounting system. But for Glock and M&P, the plates are polymer, and on here the plates are, I believe they're cast. So either way, nobody really praises either one of them. CHPWS makes really great. I have their plates on all of my guns, thousands of rounds, no problems. I'll do a video in the future about that. But these are just about direct comparisons. One of the pros for Glock is the aftermarket support. As y'all probably know, you can get parts for Glock Gen 3s everywhere. Frames, P80 frames, slides, internals, externals, accessories. You can trick these things out like crazy. And that is one of the pros for Glock. So another one of the pros that I would put towards M&P is they always come with metal sights. Now, when I first bought, I've put a little bit of money into this. So these do have metal sights now, the Glock does, but they come with polymer sights. Not a huge deal. I've seen those and have had those fail quite a bit, and I have never had metal sights for M&P fail me, but the polymer sights for Glock I have had fail me. So that's one thing that you have to change, and depending on how much you want to spend. These right here were $75. They're suppressor height, all blacked out sights. For Glock, these are probably my favorite. These are Ameriglow, and I like those a lot. And so another pro that I would lean towards the Glock and a con towards the Smith & Wesson is because they are metal, you can pay $10 more per mag. A Glock 19 magazine, sometimes you can find them on sale for 20 bucks, $19, and full price anywhere from $25 to $30, and these are going to be upwards of $35 to $40. So you can pay anywhere from $10 and up depending on where you get your magazines, but the magazines are more expensive for the M&P. So now another thing that I want to move to is the back strap. Whenever they both come with back straps, small, medium, large, extra large, or whatever. They come with 3 or 4. And whenever you add one to a Glock, it only adds the shape to the rear, so it extends your length of pull. So I don't really care for that because in my hand it feels weird. Maybe it's a mental thing, but whenever you have an M&P, the M&P wraps around through a little bit more than half of the grip and extends all of that, making all of it bigger for your purchase. The con for the M&P is it has a peephole, which is kind of like a loaded chamber indicator because you can look in there and see if there's a round chamber. Chambered, and so I do not care for that because when firing it will shoot carbon onto your lens. So that is something that I did not care about, but I recently took a class with Aaron Cowan and he said there's a company, I can't remember the company's name, but I will do a video, but I know that the item is called a dog tag and it comes up and eliminates that from happening. So that is something that I am going to look into. I will get one whenever there's one available. They're out of stock right now. I am signed up on the email list and I will get a video, but that is definitely a con, that hole right there. It just shoots carbon up onto your lens. And again, all these things are if you don't shoot a lot, it really doesn't matter. Glocks do not have that. And that is one thing that I really like about these. Other brands I haven't really paid attention because I primarily shoot my M&P and then second I shoot Glocks. Okay, so another con that I would throw towards the Smith & Wesson is the takedown. So whenever you take down a Smith & Wesson, you lock the slide to the rear and then you kind of 1911 style-ish, and it just takes a little bit more. I can't go over all the details, but it's a few other things that, few other steps that you have in a Glock. All you do, pull it back 1/4 of an inch, bomb, and you're done. So the takedown, I would say, is a con toward the M&P and a pro towards the Glock. So another pro that I would give the M&P over the Glock is the grip angle. As you can see, there's more of a 1911-ish grip on the M&P, and the Glock is more, I feel like I have to twist like that instead of naturally grasping the firearm. I feel like I have to bend like that a little bit more with the Glock, and with accuracy and recoil management and speed, it kind of is and I know that if you can train these things out, right? But I had shot Glocks for a few years and then I fired my first Smith & Wesson and I was faster and more accurate, not by a lot, just by a little bit, but I was still faster and more accurate with never training with this gun before. So I said, hey, let me go ahead and put some time behind an M&P And after I did that, I became even that much more efficient. So that's why I had switched over to M&P. That's what I carry. That's what I trust my life with. Glock is still a great pistol, but I want to be efficient. I don't really care too much about looking cool or, you know, this or that or what is on Instagram or what is on YouTube. I want what is more efficient for me, because somebody else's standards may not be my standards, just like mine may not be somebody else's. So with all these things being taken into account, and with part 2 coming up, because I am going to do a live fire at the range with these two pistols in comparison, and we're going to compare speed and accuracy, I 100% have to go with the M&P because I shoot faster and more accurate. I like the metal mags. I like the optic mounting system. I like the steel frame insert, and I like the back straps. Everything just feels better to me in my hand, and to me it shoots flatter. We can get into bore axis and all that other stuff later in the second video, but for me, I'm going to go with M&P because it's also American made. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good day. God bless, and I'll see you at the range.